Please give me cock.
Hi guys, and welcome to the 3 questions I have for Tonka. So the first question is, why did you sign a contract on November 18th, 2018 to fight Andy Warski on January 19th, 2019 with a name that didn't legally exist?
You pulled a bunch of fucking bullshit.
I wish it was next week because I have a fight scheduled on the 19th. I was ready. Where were you? And Nick, to answer your question, contracts were signed on November 18th.
Okay, and one thing I have to...
So that would be months ago.
Correct, Tonka. It was months ago, as in months before the fight was supposed to happen, which leads me to my second question. Why did you apply for your name to be legally changed to the one on the contract the day after the deadline date for all your paperwork? So we know the contracts were signed on November 18th, 2018.
Contracts were signed on November 18th.
And due to a conversation Atheism is Unstoppable had with the president of Valor Fights, Tim Loy, we know that Tonka applied for his name change on January 12th. So the deadline Valor Fights gave for paperwork was January 11th, 2019. And on January 12th, 2019, Tonka actually applied to get his name changed to the one he'd signed the contract with back in November 2018. Tonka was even given an extension until Tuesday, the 15th of January to get his blood work in, which, by the way, he handed in late.
What I've heard now is that you guys were both given a deadline of Friday at a certain time to turn in blood work, and then that deadline was extended to yesterday at something like 10:45 a.m. or 4 p.m. or something. Can you fill in the details there on what's going on?
Yeah, it was the second one. It was yesterday at like 4 p.m.
Okay, so yesterday at 4 p.m. You're supposed to turn in blood work. Okay, so what time did you turn in your blood work?
Yeah, he came in before the line.
Okay, so I've got your message here, and it shows it's an image. I'll describe it to the people. It's an image of the blood work being sent by text, 3:14 p.m. Now, you're in Central Time, right?
Yeah, I'm in Central.
Now, is Knoxville in Central or Eastern?
I think Knoxville is in Eastern. I'm wanting to say that they're over in Eastern.
So it's possible that this was sent at 4:14 p.m. Eastern time, though, right?
Well, that would be his time. But if the place closes at 5, I'm assuming that the reason it's there at 4, the place closes at 5. But in my time, it'd be 4.
Okay, I don't know. I was under the impression they had to be in at 4 p.m. I don't know if that's Eastern or whatever. But if
it's 4 p.m. Eastern, if that's okay.
But regardless, it had his actual name at the time on it, and not the one he'd signed the contract with in November 2018 that he'd only just applied to have changed. So my third and final question for Tonka is, considering you signed a contract with a name that didn't exist legally, a name that you didn't apply to make yours legally until after the deadline date for all the paperwork set by Valor Fights, why did you only take 20% of the blame for all of this?
Earlier, Nick asked you, he said, what percentage of this fight not happening was your fault? And you said
20. It was. But it was 20? The very strong 20.
So that's the 3 questions I have for Tonka. Will he answer them? I doubt it, but who knows? What I will leave you with, though, is the reminder that from Tonka's point of view, you know the guy that got a deadline extension for his paperwork that he still handed in late, and the guy that signed a contract with a fake name that he then didn't apply to get legally changed until after the initial paperwork deadline? He takes the fight game seriously.
The idea of Andy getting out there, getting in there and he's getting into the cage and everything, and I understand, they're both coming from YouTube and stuff, but I have a ridiculous amount of respect for the fight game. It bothered me. It's just another thing that bothers me about him. I hope he's taking it seriously, because I am.